Welcome, everyone. God bless you. Please help me share this broadcast on your timeline. Say hello so that I can see that you are watching. Okay, especially if you are a Swalian or a Mwalian, it will be good to know that you are watching. Okay, so the song playing in the background is a song I walk down the aisle with. So every word in that song was very, very personal. It's conscious, basically. I had to look for a song that matches my heart and literally say, my life is yours. This yes that I'm saying it to your will. And it's anytime I listen to the song, it's just exactly how I felt on that day. So enjoy it. If you want to know who sang it, you can go on YouTube. Just look for I Will Just Say Yes. Okay, so it was by Brian Courtney Wilson. Yeah. Okay, so don't be afraid to trust Jesus. If you're about to walk down the aisle, trust Him with your yes, because your life is His. Okay. Basically, that was what I was saying on the day of my wedding. Okay, so good start. Today I'm just going to continue from where I left off last 2 weeks. So I laid a foundation of how to plan your wedding, and I made it clear that wedding is it's a day's event. It is not a marriage itself. So before you start planning, you have to consider a number of things, and don't spend too much time planning for a day, but basically invest in yourself and plan for the whole journey of marriage. That is the main thing. And I made it clear that even though you've met somebody and you are sure that you want to marry the person, don't just go ahead and start planning the wedding. Make sure that you are both working. You've got a good income coming in, regular income, and especially if one of you is not working, make sure that the person working, their income is enough to cater for two of you. Okay, there should be at least one person working, and I suggested that it should be the male, and I gave the reasons for that. Okay, so if you've not watched my previous episode, this is episode 6, so you've already missed 5 episodes. Please watch them. The highest episode so far is episode 2, and I'm glad because I made a lot of notes. I mentioned so many things that I've learned in this journey so far, and so I'm glad that people have actually watched that more. It's getting to 2,000 views so far. Okay, so watch the episode 5 as well to understand how to start planning your wedding. So I'm going to continue from that. Apart from being financially ready, understanding marriage, knowing the kind of marriage you want, because that would determine how you want your wedding to be conducted in the first place. And then ensure that you have parental approval. Okay, if you're currently struggling, because there are some parents, especially parents who are very God-fearing. Sometimes you take a man to the house, you take a woman to the house. By the look of the person, they can just tell by instinct, or the Holy Spirit speaks to them and say, you know what, this person is not the right person for you. And because of that, they may not approve. Okay, I think it's one of the toughest things that any single person could ever encounter in the area of wedding, getting married, and that kind of thing. I can't imagine how it would be if you should take the person you really feel, oh, I love this person, and then your parents say no. Okay, and there's something about parents, even if he or she is not a believer, there's sometimes this instinct, especially mothers, who they have it, they can just look at a person and it's like, so pay attention, listen, okay? Sometimes you may not get parental approval, but the person could be the right person for you, okay? So I'm not really going to go too much into detail. The most important thing is ensure that you have the approval. If you don't have the approval, but you've spoken to your pastors, they've looked at the reasons that your parents are giving, because sometimes the reasons they are giving are selfish reasons, because the person is not from Ghana, because the person is not rich, because the person doesn't look handsome, or they are not from the tribe that you are from, or they are not even from your church. So because of that, they just don't like the person. So reasons like that, as long as you have the peace of God and you feel this God's hand is in this, you can go ahead and marry, but speak to your pastor and they'll give you the best advice in this, okay? So parental approval may not always happen. You may not have it all the time, but we were very blessed because I think that our parents were already looking forward to our marriage. In my church, most of the people got married before me. Yeah, in my group and with him too. In our age group, most of our friends, they were all married and all of that. So everybody was looking forward to Peace and Adam's wedding. So I personally, my parents have never given me any pressure. I've not had any pressure from anyone in my family to say, when are you getting married? Or I never had that. So when I went there to tell them about, even when I went there, I wasn't going to tell them that we're going to get married because we had not decided that we're going to get married that year, 2018. I just went there to let them know that, I've started a relationship. I already spoke to them over the phone, but I thought I should go in because I was living alone. And so I thought, let me just go to the family house, speak to them, let them know that this is I've started a relationship and blah, blah, blah. So I went, and then whilst we were talking, the question came, so when is the wedding? I thought, but we've just started a relationship, we've not planned yet. And it was like, so, your friendship is not new, we already know them, you guys have been friends for a long time. What are you guys waiting for? What are you trying to find out again? Go ahead and marry. So, we didn't have any pressure. I didn't have any pressure, any issues there at all. And then when we went to his house, his parents' house, to see them, they started advising us. They were advising us as if we were already married. The mother prayed some serious prayer. And when we left the place, I said, they have married us. So your people have already married us. He said, oh, even me, I'm shocked, So it's just, it was nice because his parents were also looking forward to when is he going to get married. They've never seen any lady. He's never brought any lady home. So there was a bit of concern over there. So when everything came along, it was like, okay, we are happy, just get married. So we were very, very blessed. No issues from our parents at all. And I thank God. I thank God for that. Okay, so the other one too is that make sure that you are in peace. Yeah. If you have any doubts, any concern, if you are not happy, if you are afraid, you're about to get married, but there's this inner thing that is not making you comfortable, please don't go ahead, okay? Don't plan the wedding at all. Slow it down, slow the process down. Apart from peace, that I knew that it's one of the signs that this person is right for you. I also prayed, I asked God to give me joy. I said, God, when I meet the guy, the man that is my husband, let me feel this excessive joy that even me myself, I will not understand. And it's amazing, when we were planning the wedding, when we were going to see the pastors and all of that, I was so happy. There was this joy. Even my husband was even shocked. He's like, calm down. I said, no, you don't understand. I prayed about this. And at a point, I couldn't even control the joy. And I was like, wow, God answers prayers. So for me, the joy, the peace that I had was just a sign that, this is for me. I remember the wedding day when we went to sign the register at church. Our bishop, he was looking at me and he said, you are too happy. And in my mind, I said, I'm not too happy. You are either happy or not happy. you can't be too happy. But I understood what he said. He was trying to say, he could just see the joy. And it's like, this girl is happy. You can't afford to enter your marriage depressed. Okay, nobody should put pressure on you to marry the wrong person. So I entered my marriage with no doubt, no fears, nothing. I was just sure that this is what I want to do. I've waited for this. I've prayed for this. I've prepared enough for this, and I'm ready. So I was very happy when it came. Yes, so that is what you got to make sure that you have before you start planning the wedding. Okay, and also in terms of where you'll be living, yeah, because wedding planning, one of the things is that it matures you. It literally matures you. There's a lot of decisions that you have to make, and those decisions just go to tell you how serious marriage is. Okay, it was when we started planning the wedding that I realized, wow, this thing is actually deep. This marriage, the whole marriage thing is like, it's not an easy thing. Okay, you've got to make decisions every time. Major decisions, because this is your wedding, this is the start of your marriage. So if you don't get it right, if things are, you hear people are having weddings and on the wedding day there's a big fight. I heard a story about a lady whose mother-in-law slapped her on the wedding day, and she slapped her back, and it became a problem, and the husband said, I can't marry you anymore. Can you imagine? So wedding planning is it involves a lot of things, and you cannot just take the decision or the decisions you make for granted. You've got to be careful, because they will either make you or make you. Okay, so find out, where are you going to be going after the wedding? Are you going to be living with your parents? Are you going to be living in a family house? Are you going to be renting? Are you going to be going to buy your own property? Or if you already have a house, are you going to move into the house? Okay, so make sure that you know where you are going. I heard a story, my sister was sharing with me, that there was a lady who, when they were about to marry, she didn't know where they were going to live. The guy kept saying, oh, we have a place. And he would take her to this particular place, not knowing that it was a family house. A family house, he's just squatting. So you see, sometimes we don't ask the right questions, and then we put ourselves in problems. Because as a newly married couple, if you're going to live in a family house, you're going to have interference, so many things. So make sure, that is why you have to be financially able before you say that you're going to get married. You don't want to go get married and then you bring the person to come and live in your parents' house. Unless some parents are very good, okay, they will not interfere, they'll give you one room, and maybe you need that for the start to build up your finances a bit. And every marriage, they say, is different. But if you can avoid all those things, try and avoid them. And that is why single with a life is very important, because I've always said that as a single person, you have to start learning how to save towards your future. And the marriage is part of your future. That's if you desire to get married. Okay, can you imagine if you started saving at the age of 10 or at the age of 15? By the time you are 25, by the time you are 30, and you want to get married, you've saved good amount of money. Okay, so you wouldn't have to now go and squat with somebody, live in somebody's house, and there are certain things you can't do. A newly married couple, that's the time that you have to play with each other, have sex anywhere that you want to have sex. When you are living with somebody, you can't do that. You can't. Yeah, so these things have effects. But if you've planned in advance, it helps you. Okay, so accommodation, and then decide the number of children that you want to have. This is the time, it's part of all the wedding planning. Okay, it's part of the wedding planning, because after the wedding, you are going to live together. Yeah, so decide how many children do you want to have. Do you want to have children immediately? Because not everybody wants to have children immediately. Some people want to wait for a year, they want to wait for 2 years, or some people don't even want children. Okay, and it's fine. Whatever your decision, as long as the two of you are happy with it, it's fine. Okay, in the African culture, especially in Ghana, what I've seen is that immediately people get married, they're expecting that by the 9th month, baby is here. Okay, and that's one of the things that I've been saying, that I really want to draw our singles' attention to that it should not be compulsory. Yeah, you don't have to have children immediately, especially if you got married at the age of 23, 25. Why do you want to rush? Maybe if you got married at the age of 35, 40, you say that, okay, you want to make sure that, because people are very concerned about biological clock and all of that. So, okay, let me just start and do and then get over it. Fair enough. But if you don't have money, I don't care. If you have money and you are 22 years, you are 20, you just got married, you want to have children, go ahead. You are ready, you want to, go ahead. But if you don't have the money, even if you are 40, please wait. Because if you don't have money to take care of the two of you, how are you going to bring a child into the picture? And then you end up giving the child a very bad upbringing, a bad start. Yeah, and then it creates a cycle of poverty and all of that. So ensure that you are financially able, and if you have to wait for a year, 2 years to save and get yourself prepared, yeah, you can go ahead. But it should not be compulsory for you to get married immediately. I mean, for you to start having children immediately. It's between the two of you. No matter what your parents are saying, you know your finances. Sometimes your parents may think you have money. They may look at their son, it's like, oh, my son is working, he's got money. You, the lady, he doesn't have. Maybe to your parent, as the woman, your parents think, oh, my daughter has been working how many years, she's been driving, she's got money, oh, they are fine. But meanwhile, your husband knows you have no penny in your account. So the two of you, you know yourselves more than anybody else. Don't rush and say that because your parents are looking for grandchildren, you want to have children immediately. No. Okay. So listen to yourself, look at your situation and pray about it. God, do you want us to have children immediately? Maybe you have the money, you are ready, but maybe God, there's something else you have to do before you start having children. It's up to you. I know a friend who wanted to start having children after a year, and then 6 months into the line, I think it's even less than 6 months, they had a prophecy to start having children, and so they started. So she couldn't wait for the year anymore. So it's up to you, okay? And then also register the marriage. In UK, there's something called notice of marriage, whereby you go in to register. They will interview you, they interview the man, they register the marriage. Literally, you are giving them a notice that you want to get married, okay? And you have to do all of that. They will now send some document to your church where you are going to get married. They will send documents, and then based on that, you'll be able to get your marriage certificate, okay? There are some churches you can go and do without doing the notice of marriage. Some churches don't allow it, okay? You have to do your notice of marriage before anything else at the registry. And the thing is, there are some people who are married for years, but in the country they reside, there is no document, there's nothing to show that they are married. Legal documents show that they are married. Now, if something should happen, God forbid, if one of you should pass away or something serious should happen and maybe you've got some property somewhere, how do you go and claim ownership? Or even if in terms of the children, how do you go and say that you are married? You don't have anything to prove. So make sure that you register the marriage, make it legal. The fact that you go and exchange the ring does not mean that the country you reside in have any written document anywhere to prove that you are husband and wife. I don't know if I'm making sense. I don't know how it works in Ghana, but UK, that's what I know. So we did that. I think we did it. I think you have to do it 6 weeks before the wedding or 1 month before the wedding. I've forgotten, but we did it. And then there's counseling. Counseling is part of the wedding preparation. Okay, so make sure that you do your counseling. Don't say, I know already. I mean, marriage, I've been around my parents how many years, I know how their marriage is. You don't know. Okay, go and sit under somebody to teach you. They may not be able to teach you everything. They will give you the principles. It's just principles that they touch on, and you have to go away and apply it in your life. Okay, because your marriage is going to be different. Every marriage is different. So, but don't shun the counseling. Okay, we did it. It was supposed to be for 4 weeks, but it went so quick, so we were able to finish it within 3 weeks with our bishop. And then we also had another 1 hour 30 minutes sit down with Pastor Yemisi Ashimolowo, that's Matthew Ashimolowo's wife. So, because my husband had just started their church. So we went there, and then she sat down with us, gave us some counseling for 1 hour 30 minutes. Yeah, thereabout. Good stuff. Okay. The people that will counsel you will give you examples from themselves. They'll give you examples from people. And as I said, you may not have to use everything that they've said, but theirs could be different. But you need to go. You need to go. There are certain things that you will pick up. Okay. It also shows your humility, that you are ready to learn. Okay. You are ready to learn. Excuse me. Okay. So I put here that the wedding planning makes you very mature. It matures you. Through that, you begin to realize that, wow, I'm making important decisions now. Okay. And during that time too, you are going to talk a lot. You and your husband-to-be, you will always be on the phone. Always, because you'll be calling and it's like, what's the update? What's the update? You know. So I'm going to give you a list of things that you need to think about when planning. Things that you'll be doing. These are general stuff, but depending on your wedding, it may be less. The kind of wedding you want, maybe you want a big wedding, you want a small wedding. It may be less, it may be more. I put here, what is your budget? How much do you want to spend on the wedding? Okay. And then how many people do you want to invite to the wedding? So if you are planning your wedding right now, you can put these things on a spreadsheet. I will just list them, and then I will touch on some of them the way we did it. Okay. So how many people do you want to invite to the wedding? Where do you want to do the wedding? Which venue? Okay. Or country? Yeah. What kind of food do you want to serve there? And how much would you be spending on food? So in terms of the catering, yeah. How much would you spend on water and drinks? How much would you need for the decoration of the place? Both church and maybe if you are doing a reception after the church service, you may need to decorate the place. So how much would it cost? Okay, so how much would you need for the engagement dowry? Because if you're in Africa, we do engagement, we do wedding, white wedding. So in Ghana, you can't do the white wedding without engagement. You must do the engagement. You can actually you can do the engagement alone without the wedding and it's fine. Okay, but you cannot do the wedding without engagement. So depending on which one you are doing, if it's wedding, how much would you need? I mean, for the engagement, how much would you need for the dowry? And the dowry is the family list that they give. They'll say mother of bride, 2 pieces of clothes, father of bride, that kind of thing. Yeah, what the family will list for you for the man to buy. And then you have to think about your engagement outfits. Normally we go for the traditional. Some people will be in kente, like something like this. Most of the time it's traditional. And then think about your wedding gown. How much are you going to spend on your wedding gown? Groom's wear. If the groom is going to be in suits, how much is it going to cost? Yeah. How much would you need for shoes for both of you? Okay. How much would you spend on accessories or jewelries? And these are maybe the tiara for the lady, the earrings, necklaces, bracelets, wristwatch. Yeah. How much are you spending on engagement and wedding rings for both of you? Okay. So list them so that you know how to budget. How much are you spending on your groomsmen and your bridesmaids? That's if you are going to have one. Are they going to pay for themselves? If yes, then you don't have to put it in the list. If you are going to pay for them, then you put it in the list. Okay. You may need a bouquet or flowers for the bride, both brides and the bridesmaids. The groomsmen may need flowers and all of that on their pockets, side pocket or whatever. And then the groom may also need some flowers there as well. So all of that, all the flowers, how much is it going to cost? Makeup for the bride and bridesmaids, you will pay for it. How much is it going to cost? How much would you spend on hairdo, your hairstyle, the bridesmaid's hairstyle, are they going to pay for it themselves? If they are, then you don't need to put it in the list. But yours, you have to put in the list because you'll be paying for your hair unless somebody is doing it for you for free. Yeah, how much would you spend on photography and videos? How much would you spend on the wedding cake? How much would you spend on the invitation cards and printing of the programs? Yeah, who will be your DJ and MC? Okay. Okay, because they have to work on your music and all of that. And then you have to choose what will be your procession song, your reception song, the song that you walk into the aisle, you walk down the aisle with, and then maybe when you are coming out to go and take your photos, what song do you want? Yeah, you'll be doing a bride and groom dance. What song do you want to dance with? All of that, you have to think about it. How long do you want your program to last? Do you want a whole day program? Do you want a 2 hours program, a 1 hour program? It's up to you. Okay, so these are some of the things that we put on a spreadsheet to help us know the things that we need. And then, as I said, this is for what we did. Maybe your wedding may be bigger than this and you need more lists, or it may be a very small wedding and the list may be less. Okay, so if you are planning, type them out, all the things that you will need. And this is also to give our singles an idea of how much money or that you may need for your wedding. I remember this year, I've been mentoring some people, and I have a few desperate ladies who said, I want to get married. I said, okay, how much do you have for your wedding? I gave them all this list. I said, get a budget, draw your budget, and based on that budget, let me know how much you think you'll be needing for all these lists. And then one of them said, wow, I never thought of it this way. You know, she never thought of the fact that she probably will need to get a cake, she needs decoration, she needs to, you know, buy her groom's, her bride's gown, her brother gown, or do this or do that. She didn't know. Okay, so this is just to give you an idea. If you are desperate, you want to get married, you have the money to do all of these things. Yeah. Okay. And then I'm now going to touch on how we did it, how we decided on these things. So in terms of budget, we had our budget, and then we decided that we wanted invitation only wedding. Okay, and that was a tough decision for us to make because in our church we were well known. I was in the choir, my husband was in the choir. We lead praise and worship sometimes. My husband was a youth leader, and I was also involved in the youth. So everybody kind of knew us, and you know, when you are in the public space like that, everybody feels you are their friend. You know, so for you to now decide you are going to invite this person and not invite that person is very difficult. It's a difficult decision to make. And my husband especially has been involved in so many people's weddings. He's been groomsman, you know, for so many people. And so people were at that place where they were looking forward to his wedding so that they can literally pay back. It's like payback time. Okay, you've done it for me, let me also do it for you. That kind of thing. So people were looking forward. And we knew all of that, but we had to decide, what do we really want from our wedding? Do we want a big wedding? Do we want a small wedding? And initially, we decided that we were going to do invitational only, but then we're going to have large numbers, about 300 people. So we wrote down all the names. I actually did it. Okay, so because I knew some of the people that he's very close with, I listed all those people and I listed the people that I'm very close with. And then we sat down, looked at it, we added more people. So we had in mind that we wanted 300 people. However, by the time we finished putting the names together, it was 365. And we're thinking, wow, who do we take out? Who do, you know, that kind of thing. And then whilst we were thinking about all of that, the numbers, one evening, we were just talking and we started talking about wedding. And my husband said, even wedding, is it in the Bible? You know, and I said, yeah, you know, wedding is in the Bible. We've heard about Jesus performing his first miracle at a wedding, but then it doesn't give you a lot of details about what they did and that kind of thing. And then I said, for me, I think the engagement really is what I would say that that it was more specific in the Bible in terms of, if you read Genesis 24, verse 50 to 61, Rebecca and Isaac's wedding, their marriage. Basically, some of the things that were done are some of the things that they are similar to some of the things that are done in the Ghanaian culture, in the Ghanaian engagement. So you see that they will ask the lady, this person wants to marry you. Do you know the person? Do you want to go with the person? That kind of thing. And then the gift, they'll bring the gift and all of that. So I said to him that I think the engagement probably was coined out of that scripture. I see some similarities. And I also said that even, I asked him, did your mother do a wedding? My mother, I don't remember my mother doing any wedding. Those days, they didn't do any weddings. It was more of engagements. And then they marry. They are married. So we're thinking about it. We said, okay, so why are we so focused on the white wedding? Because we believe that the white wedding is more for the white people. That's why they call it white wedding. And ours is the engagement. So as long as we're able to do the engagement, I don't see why we should make the wedding a big deal and people are spending so much money and all of that. So we're just thinking about it. And then at that time, a friend of us had just done her engagement and they were going to wait for the next year to get married. So I was saying to him that, okay, so what would happen if this girl, even though they've done engagement, if this girl, they should have sex and she should get pregnant? Would the church say that because they didn't do a church wedding, she sinned and all of that? And we're thinking about it, and we had another coordinator as well who he's done his engagement for 2 years now, and there's no white wedding yet. He's not been able to get the money to do the white wedding. So because of that, they are living apart. And I'm thinking 2 years. So does it mean that they are not sexually involved? And even if they should get sexually involved and something should happen, would they say that they are not married? So I was just thinking, we're just deliberating about the whole thing, and my husband said, "Peace, you know what? This wedding thing is just a waste of money. I think we should focus more on engagement." So what we did was, he said, "You know what? Because at that point we had listed 65 people that we wanted to be part of the engagement. We wanted those people to come to the engagement, and then the rest of the people, the 300 and something, will also come to the wedding." So he said, "You know what? These 65 people we've listed, can we make them the main focus for the wedding as well, so that we cut down from 365 to 65? And I thought, come on, are you serious? And he said, yes, we can decide that we want just our parents and the pastor to come and bless our marriage, and it's still marriage. So I was just laughing over the food, but he was serious. He was very serious, and he said, "Peace, we are not going to do 300 and something anymore. Let's go for 65 people." So he said, start looking for a venue somewhere that can accommodate 65 people nicely and all of that. So we started looking. The next day we started looking, and then I found a venue, and the venue, they said they can only accommodate 40 people. My husband said, cut the number to 40. I said, "King, come on, who do I take out? We've already scrapped 300 people." Now it's like, it was hard. Honestly, it was hard. So sorry about that. Lo and behold, that 40, the place that wanted 40 people, the date they were giving us was 2019. We wanted to marry before the end of 2018. So we decided that, okay, we are not going to go to that place. And then he started looking, and then he found a hotel, DoubleTree by Hilton Hotel. So he called them, and then they said, oh, they have a nice hall for 180 people. So we said, okay, instead of 40, let's up the people to, because they had a specific amount of money. Basically, they were going to do everything: food, water, drink, decoration, everything. All we need to do is to just come on the day, enjoy, and leave. So it sounded very good to us, because we didn't really want to spend too much money. We didn't want to waste too much time. We didn't want to get too many people involved in the whole thing. So it sounded good to us. And then he called them. He went to see them. And then we decided that, okay, we are going to go for 100 people maximum. No bend, no curve, 100 people. So we listed down the number of people, and trust me, it was difficult. It was difficult because, like I said before, people think you are their friend, and all of a sudden, and in this our day, some people people have a way they think. Once you don't invite them, they feel, they are not very important to you. That's why you invite them. But that is their thinking process, and it's up to the two of you to decide. Where we were, in our heart of hearts, we could have done a wedding between our families, and that's it. Okay, even our engagement, it was just 20 people for the engagement, 20 people. Family, he had 7 people from his family. I had 7 people from my family. Did I even have 7? I had 5. And then some of the bridesmaids, 2 bridesmaids came, 2 pastors and their wife. That was it. So literally, very simple engagement. Yeah. And then we settled on the 100 people to invite. So immediately we decided on the number. We thought of, before we even got the venue, we were thinking, where should we do the wedding? Is it Ghana or in the UK? And the reason is because most of my family are in Ghana, and then most of his family are in the UK. All the nuclear family, mother, father, all siblings, UK. So we're thinking, do people really want to travel? And at that time, his parents had already gone to Ghana. His sister, his mother, they went to Ghana. His daddy was planning to go to Ghana. So we're thinking, do we really want to cost them all that money? They've just gone and then they come again, and we wanted families to be involved. So we were thinking, should we go to Ghana and do it? Should we come to UK? And then we had an open mind that also, especially me, because of, the vision I'm running, I've got a lot of my singles in Ghana who really want to come to my wedding and celebrate with me. So we think, okay, maybe we should go to Ghana and do the engagement there so that, we can invite Swalians to come and celebrate with us. My family are there so that, and then we can come to UK and do the wedding to cater for the family members who are here. But then we thought, okay, normally when it comes to the engagement, the decision really is the family, especially my family. So I went to visit my family. Before I went with him to my family, I went alone. And then when I went, they were asking me, so when is the wedding? I said, oh, we are still studying each other, and we're still planning whether we want to go and do it in Ghana or do it in the UK. And they were like, why Ghana? If the whole family is here, why do you want to go to Ghana for? And in my heart, I said, praise the Lord. I was pretending as if, I said, oh, anyway, we are still planning. We haven't decided. We haven't concluded. But in my heart, that was already a conclusion. I was happy that they didn't make it rigid and say, go to Ghana by fire, by force, because most of the family is there. So I came back and I was happy. I called him. I said, oh, my people, they don't mind, they don't mind where we do it. And it was a good thing for us. So we decided that we are doing everything in the UK because it will save us a lot of money, transportation in terms of, the ticket. The 2 of us alone, we probably would have spent like £2,000 or more during that time. And if families have to travel, that money that they would have used to travel, they could have given that money to us, So we decided to do it in the UK. And it was good because when the parents came back, he went to speak to them about the date, and they were like, oh, if we knew you guys were going to get married this year, wouldn't have gone to Ghana. I felt very bad. So the dad actually was very good. He cancelled his Ghana trip. He cancelled it. I felt so bad. He wanted to go to Ghana, enjoy the sun a bit. And then I said, oh, anyway, thank God for them. So he cancelled his trip. So now we have to go and see our church, my church, to let them know about our decision that we wanted to get married. This is the number of people we want. We made a decision before going to see them. So when we went, we sat down with the pastor, we booked an appointment, and he asked us what date. and we told him the dates that were presented to us. They had only 2 dates left for the rest of the year. So they had 18th December, which was a Tuesday, and a 4th December, I think it was a Monday or something like that. And they didn't have weekends, they didn't have even Sunday, nothing. So when we went, the pastor had to look at the church calendar, and then they said, okay, Tuesday the 18th was appropriate, was more convenient. So we settled on that, and then we started phoning people, the people that we've listed. We started phoning them to let them know. We're getting married in December, and as I'm talking, that was in September, early. We started planning the wedding late September. So I think middle of October, that was when we started calling people. So literally we used 3 months to plan our wedding. We started calling people. We invited, we didn't do any invitation cards. We did not, we only sent them, we spoke to them because the number is so small. We just called. He had a number of people who had to call. There are some people who were closer to him than me, so he called them. And those who are very close to me, I called them. So we just called, we're getting married on this date. Please save it. We are not going to send any invitation. It is invitation only, keep it to yourself. We told them, no children. If you want to come with your child, unless maybe the child is breastfeeding, there's nobody that you can leave the child with. If it's an older child, please find somebody to look after the child. Yeah, and then we sent out our invitation. So now in the background, we had to work on all these things, and we realized that most of the time the number of people that you invite determines how big your venue should be and how much money you would spend on food, because most of the wedding cost is on food. So if you are inviting 1,000 people, it means that the amount of money you're going to spend on your wedding is going to be high. If you are inviting 20 people, it's going to be less. So if you manage to cut the number of people, you will save so much money. Okay, so we decided on the number of people, the venue, and it was a hotel. We got a hotel, so we didn't do the wedding in the church. And thank God our church, they followed us to the hotel, and they did the wedding for us. So I'll come back more into how the day was structured. Yeah. Okay, so you need to know what food. Luckily for us, because the hotel was taking care of everything, we didn't have to worry about the food. We just gave them the list of food, and we used finger foods. So it wasn't the typical sit down, eat fufu, eat banku, eat kenke, eat chicken, eat goat meat, eat what else do they serve during weddings? Rice, jollof rice, wache. We didn't do any of those. It was typical finger foods. Okay, so we made our invited guests aware that this wedding is invitation only. It's a cocktail wedding. That means that you are not going to be sitting down, especially for the reception bit. Everybody is sitting up, everybody is standing, except those who are, older. We made seats available for them. Yeah, and then the reception, the hotel catered for the food, the drink, the water. The only proper food on the list was chips. That's potato chips, and then chicken. The rest were all finger foods, but they were filling enough. So most people were full. Everybody was full. In fact, there were leftovers. There were leftovers. And it's amazing. It was after we had decided on the hotel. That was when I remembered a dream a lady shared with me some time ago. She shared with me that she saw myself, and she saw the family of my husband coming from a hotel. They just came to perform our engagement rites. So she said to me, "You people are going to have your engagement in the hotel, your marriage in the hotel." I think it never. I thought, why should we do a wedding in a hotel? It wasn't a part of the plan. But God just worked things around that it suited up that dream somehow. It was later I remembered that somebody told me that some time ago. Okay, so one of the reasons why we chose a hotel environment is because the number was small, and also it was winter, so it means that it was very, very cold. We wanted to make sure that the environment we are doing the wedding is such that we can take all our photos there without necessarily going outside in the cold to take photos. And the hotel environment it was very nice. The inside was very nice, so we just wanted to do everything there. We also wanted the wedding, the reception, the wedding itself, and everything. We wanted it to be a maximum of 5 hours. So we thought, okay, if we should do it in our church, by the time we traveled, we leave the church and say we are going to somewhere to take photos, and then we now, go to the reception. That is a whole day already. We didn't want to spend too much time on the wedding, on the whole event at all. So we made the church aware that this is what we want. We want a very short, simple wedding, 4 to 5 hours maximum. This number of people. We want to take the photos in an environment that, we can look back and say, yeah, we don't have to go in the cold. I remember even on the wedding day when we had to go and take pictures, we took most of the pictures indoors. And then we had to come out briefly, like 10 minutes, to take a bit of photos outside. You should come and see the bridesmaids. They were like this, hurry up, let's go. They were so cold. We wanted to avoid all of that. And that is the main reason why we invested more into the venue than anything else. And the package they gave us was also very good. It meant that guests don't have to come and be running around cleaning, picking this, doing that. By the time you come, everything is done. You just come, sit, eat, enjoy the whole thing, and then you leave. Okay, so nobody did anything on the wedding day. None of our friends. The only thing that we got friends to do was the ushering for the service itself. The first few, maybe maximum 1 hour, 30 minutes, they did us the service. At the beginning of the wedding, the church, where you exchange your vows and everything. At the beginning, before that, we did like a drink reception. So it meant that people came in 1 hour before and mingled with each other. They drank, they had the drinks and all of that. And then from 12 o'clock, so by 1 o'clock, everybody was seated for the wedding itself to start. And then we did the wedding, I think for the exchange of vows and everything, the preaching, everything was 40 minutes, I think. After that, we went out, did our photos. We took most of our photos before I walked down the aisle anyway. So when we now finished the service and we had to go and take photos, it was more like taking photos with the people who had come, because we had already taken all our photos. So that saved us time. We slept at the hotel. My bridesmaids, we came the night before, slept there. The groomsmen, they didn't come to the hotel until the next day, until the wedding day. So we did all the things in the morning, took all our photos, and then after the 40 minutes in the church, at the hotel, the church service was at the hotel. So when we finished, we went to take photos with everybody else. Whilst we're taking photos with everybody else, they changed the whole arrangement into a reception. Okay, because we're not going to use chairs. It was just a little bit of chairs that were left around. They arranged it very nicely. Maybe one of these days I could post my husband. I'll get my husband for permission and post some of the arrangements. And then we don't really want our photos to be on Facebook. Yeah. So I'll need special permission to do that. Yeah. So they arranged the place very, very well, nicely. Cake, everything was ready. So by the time we finished taking the photos and came back, the place was completely new. We didn't have to walk or take the bus or travel to another place to have a reception. Everything was done at the same place, and it was maximum of 4 to 5 hours. The program itself, I think we finished around 4. By 4 o'clock, everything was almost settled, but then we left by 5. I think most people had left. So from 12, drink reception for 1 hour, main service at 1 o'clock to 4, 5. Everybody was gone. Simple, nice, Yeah. And then, what was I going to say here? Okay, so our decoration was part of the package that came from the hotel. My sister-in-law and mother-in-law were very good. They came with a lady to do finishing touches to the decoration, because there were certain things that we didn't even know that the hotel were going to give us. So they got those things to cover all the chairs. All the chairs were covered, and then by the time they came to decorate the day before. My sister-in-law came with the lady, and then we realized that, oh, some of the things were in the package, but we didn't know. So the lady and my sister-in-law really did a very good, especially with the reception. The way they arranged the place was just beautiful. It was beautiful. I appreciate that. Okay, and then the engagement, the rings, we had a specific amount I wanted to spend on the ring. And then when we went to buy the ring, my engagement ring alone covered all the budgets. So for instance, if we wanted the ring to be £400, the engagement ring alone was like 390 something pounds. I think it was like only £3 left to meet the whole budget. But then I have not got the ring itself, the wedding ring itself. And then my husband said, well, you have to find a £3 wedding ring because you've already spent all the budget on your engagement ring. I said, King, come on. So we went over budget for the engagement ring. So you have that flexibility, although you got your budget, have a flexibility of things may be more expensive than you think. Okay. Yeah, and then our bridesmaids, they paid for their outfits. So what we did was we gathered money. We looked for somebody in Ghana, and then I brought a style. Did I even bring the style? Yeah, I brought a style. They didn't like the style I wanted because some of it, they didn't. The style I wanted was strapless, sleeveless, but they wanted something to cover them. So we agreed, and then we decided that we're going to sew everything in Ghana. So our engagement outfit and their bridesmaids dresses were all sold by the same person. And funny enough, when we were going to get engagement stuff, we were going to do our kente in the UK, sew it in the UK. The amount they were charging us, plus the material, it was almost, we're going to spend more than £300. So we're thinking, £300, if we should send this £300 to Ghana, we will get something better than that. So we called the lady in Ghana. We said, how much do you think it will cost us to sew this? And luckily for us, we had a lady going to Ghana. So we gave the kente to the person. Can you imagine? Instead of spending £300, we spent £100. And the £100 included everything that we needed on that outfit. Everything. For both me and my husband. So we just spent £100 on our engagement stuff. And then our bridesmaids, I think they spent £40 each on their stuff. And then I paid for their makeup and mine together. We had a lady from our church who is a makeup artist. So I spoke to her. She gave us a very good discount. We spent £200. And before that, people were trying to recommend other people for the makeup. And my makeup alone, somebody said they are charging £600. So I thought, okay, I'll just find somebody I know. And some of my bridesmaids, they could have done their makeup alone by themselves. I could have even done my makeup by myself, but I thought, it's a special day. Let me get something more professional. So we got this lady from our church. She did a very good makeup for us for £200 for 4 of us. It was nice. We saved so much money there. The photography and videos, my brother has a studio, so he stepped in to help us with that. So we didn't spend much money on some of the stuff. And then DJ, we looked for, I don't know, those of you as well, there was a time I sent a message around that if you have any song, if you know any high life, popular songs, send them to me. People were sending me a lot of songs. So we didn't hire a DJ. We didn't hire an MC. Our DJ was the choir leader in our church. And then the MC was the youth pastor of our church. We just spoke to them, can you help us? They said yes. I put all the worship songs, all the songs that we need for the service, the church service. I put everything together. By the grace and by the help of Swallians, they sent me all the songs. I compiled them, then I sent it to the choir leader, and then he's got a system to mix them up for it to look like a DJ kind of thing. So he worked on it. My husband worked on the reception song, so you know the Afrobeat and all those things. I'm not an Afrobeat person, but he said, oh, you know, we need some of these things. I said, okay, work on them. So he worked on them. At a point, he was so busy, I had to step in for him to get some of the songs together. So he did a very good combination with that, and then he sent it to the choir leader who mixed everything up. And on the day, he was our MC, our DJ. We didn't pay anything for that. Thank God for that. So use the people around you, speak with them. You know there are some people who are very good who can help you. You don't need to spend money on those things. Speak to them, beg them to help you, and then after that you appreciate them. Okay. The wedding, the service, there was no drums, there was no instrument. So the songs that we chose were such that it covered for. It was nice. You wouldn't even realize that this is not a church. It was so nice. We had two people. They did a bit of praise and worship. They did a nice combination of songs apart from the music that we put together. Because typically weddings are done on Saturdays or Sundays. Yeah. So when they had Tuesdays, like, oh, you know. But nowadays a lot of people are doing weddings during the weekday. Most people are doing weddings during weekdays. So it's not new. It's not new. It's something that is happening already. You know, when we told people, there were some friends who were very concerned when we said, oh, it's a cocktail wedding. So when you come, make sure that you come with some flats, so that, because you'll be standing at some point. And we told them the kind of food that will be served. The lady, when I finished speaking to her, she called me back. She said, please, why are you guys doing that? Is it because you don't have money? And I said, no. It is not about money at all. It's just the kind of wedding that we want, you know, because I don't see why we should, apart from you coming to the wedding to eat, what else are you coming to do? Nothing. You see, you invite 100 people, you invite 1,000 people, they come and sit there. What? They don't do anything else apart from, you know, their presence, which is important, but really, you don't need a lot of people to witness the wedding. So they come and sit, they eat your food, they go. You spend so much, you waste so much money. That's it. You know, so we thought we're not going to, we don't want a big wedding. We don't want to spend too much time at the wedding. Simple, short. So she was a bit concerned. My mother-in-law was like, what are you guys doing? I've never seen this before. You know, because people are used to coming to a wedding whereby you sit down, you eat, you dance, and then by 10 p.m., you spend the whole day, you leave, you get home, it's very late. They are used to that. So coming up with something new was like unusual, but it will amaze you. All the people who were concerned when we finished the wedding, they were the people singing the praises of the wedding. My mother-in-law is still talking about it. She said recently we were speaking, and then she said she went to a wedding. And I said, okay, how was the wedding? She said, oh, it was nice, but you and my son's wedding is the best. I loved. I loved. You know, when we finished the wedding, we started calling people to appreciate them. And then we asked her, did you like the food? Because she was concerned about the food. The fact that, you know, it's not a typical rice and, you know, sit down, eat. And she was worried about how people were going to stand and be eating. So when we called her, we said, did you have enough to eat? I said, oh, yeah, everything was fine. Everything was fine. I enjoyed it. Everything was fine. And the lady who was also concerned, she said, after the wedding, she came to us, she said, now Pentecost, where are the Pentecost pastors? No offense to any Pentecost pastor. Eh? He said, where are the Pentecost pastors? They should come and see. This is how a wedding is supposed to be done. I laughed. I said, hey, you that was so concerned. You know, so big weddings are people's standard they have created. You can also create your wedding. If you want 20 people in a park, you can do it without spending a penny. People don't have to eat when they come to your wedding. They don't have to. Yeah, you can even do takeaway. Put it in a nice pack. The engagement, that's what we did. We packaged the food. And then we had some souvenirs and gave it to them. That was it. Nothing else. The engagement, I think, was probably like 2 hours. Finished. Go home. Yeah? So don't spend too much money because we want to please people. We are more concerned about the quality of our marriage. We want our marriage to be a model marriage for people, a quality marriage. You know, you spend thousands, and then within 2 weeks you are fighting. We're not doing that. And we didn't do that. Yeah? So, yeah. One of the things that I did before we started planning the wedding was to read around about how to plan a wedding. Those of you who know me very well, you know that I've always said, whatever area of life you want to go into, make sure that you have researched enough about it so that you know what you can face. Yeah. So the general feeling about, you know, the people that I listened to was that weddings are stressful. They are expensive. Sometimes you have clashes between families and all of that. And, you know, although the above can be true, generally they can be true, but they may not necessarily be your experience. Okay. Someone's experience is not your experience. Weddings are expensive based on what you choose. Okay. If you want to have a big wedding, if you want to wear £1,000 wedding ring, if you want to wear a £2,000, £4,000 wedding gown, of course, wedding is going to be expensive. Yeah. If you want to do a wedding, 3 days wedding, it's going to be expensive. So the choices you make, that is what will determine how expensive the wedding will be. And I said earlier on, if your number of people that you are inviting, if it's an open wedding and everybody is coming, they come with their friends, people you don't even know, you're going to spend so much money because the bulk of the cost is the food. So if you cut the number of people, you will save so much on the food. Okay, we invested more on the venue. Okay, if you see the wedding, where we did the wedding, it's so nice. Immediately you walk in, it's like, wow, beautiful place. We invested because we wanted that outlook for our wedding. But then we have to save money somewhere to cover that. Yeah. So find ways to not make people's experience your experience, especially if it's a negative experience. Okay. Find ways to reduce the pressure, the stress, the expenses, the family clashes. Find a way to minimize that, because whatever you believe in, you would accept. And whatever you accept or whatever you expect that will happen to you. So if you tell yourself weddings are not expensive, weddings don't have to be stressful, families don't have to fight because of wedding, it will not happen to you. You put measures in place to ensure that it does not happen. Okay, so one of the ways we did to reduce all those things was to plan properly. The things that are listed in the beginning that you have to look at, we put everything on a spreadsheet, and then every week we put one person in charge. So on the spreadsheet, we put the things that I am in charge to do during the week. He also put his name where he has to do. So if we have to correspond with the hotel, who is the one corresponding with them? Is it me or him? If we have to order for something online, is it me or him? Yeah. So we put a list. Every week we had something that we were doing. There were some weeks we went out to the shopping center to get our rings, to get jewelries and all of that. Okay. There were weeks that he had more work to do than I did. There were weeks that I had more work to do than he did. So plan the weeks so that you don't have to, push everything into one day or on one person. The person becomes so stressful. If you spread it across, by the time you realize you've touched on all your things. Okay, we had only 3 months to plan, and thankfully we had the hotel planning most of the stuff. So the remaining of the stuff, it wasn't too much for us to do. So we had to just spread it across over the weeks to make sure that everybody is doing something. Yeah. And then, apologies. My husband dealt more with the hotel people. And the reason is because at the beginning, all the emails were coming to me. But I noticed that the lady in charge, the correspondent from the hotel, she was not paying attention to details. And with my CEO skills, I already had a problem with her. You know, those of you who are coordinators, you know I don't like to chase people. I don't like repeating things that I've already said. You know, I like to make things clear. I will write it. If I have to type it out for you, I will type it out for you to follow one after the other. But read it, understand it. If you don't understand it, ask me questions. Don't let me keep repeating something I've already said over and over. I don't like it. So I realized that she was the kind of person that, you know, the things that you've already sent to her, she'll ask you again. So I said to my husband, she doesn't pay attention to detail. I don't like this. And I said to my husband that, you know what, I don't want to use my CEO attitude on her. So you deal with her because you are the nicest one. My husband is very gentle. He'll be, you know, laughing even when the pain is. It's good that I'm in his life. Sometimes I have to put some pepper somewhere. You know, sometimes people will be doing things that, you know, you are looking, just like, say this, you have to do this. And he's so calm, nice. Hey, crotchety. Anyway, okay. So I just said, you know what, you deal with this lady. But any correspondent, they copy me in their emails. So it got to a point, the lady made mistakes to the extent that she even sent us a wrong somebody's receipt. And I was like, that was when I stepped in. I stepped in again. I said, you've sent us the wrong detail. What's going on? And at a point, you know, the list of food that we've already sent to her, they gave us a list of what they provide, and then we chose. She was now asking again. I said, we've already sent it to you. You know, so my husband had to deal more with them because I just couldn't take that laid back, repeated attitude. I couldn't do it. So he dealt more with them. Anything to do with his family, he dealt with them. Anything to do with my family, I dealt with them. So there was no time that I would call his family and say, we are doing this and we need it. Nope. Okay, and that's one of the things that we learned during counseling, that even in the marriage, if there are issues, if the issue is coming from the man's side, let the man deal with it. If the issue is coming from the lady's side, let the lady deal with it. So in that case, it won't be like your wife called me and then she insulted me, or your husband was rude to me. No, there has never been that. Okay, so make sure that the side of the family that the issue is coming from, you deal with it in that way. Okay, and then we went for cheaper options for almost everything. Our invitation cards, we didn't do invitation cards, but we did a wedding program. The wedding program was designed by my husband. I don't know if you guys, sometimes, is it showing upside down, or I don't know, sometimes when you hold these things, it shows upside down. So that's the wedding invitation. It's not invitation card, a program. My husband designed it on the internet, and then he sent it to, what was it? It was a company, an online company. They printed and sent it back. So everybody was given one when they came to the wedding. And then he designed the sitting arrangement. I don't know how he did it. He did it very nicely. Who is sitting where, blah, blah, blah. He designed all of that. So we had a master plan. The matron and the MC had a master plan. They knew what goes where and all of that. It was nice. We didn't have to pay anybody to do that for us. Yeah. And then, yeah, my husband is more private than I am. I am private, but he's more private. So there are certain things that he didn't want people to really get involved. He just wants, yeah, he knows people want to appreciate him for his hard work in the past, but it's like, no, let them come, enjoy and go. Okay, don't do anything, don't clean anything. Let's get people to do everything. So we just paid for people to do everything for us. We established our priorities from day one. Who are the most important people in this wedding planning? Who are the most important people in this marriage? And we established that the most important people are me, him, and God. Anybody else we can do away with. Okay, Not that they are not important, they are important, but we are the most important. So it meant that our decision was final, okay, not the church, not our parents, not our friends. Our decision, what we wanted, because we knew the kind of future we want, the kind of marriage we want. We know our budget. I knew how much money he's getting, how much money I'm getting, how much money we got in account, and we're working by that budget. So if I speak to my family, if he speaks to his family and they want something, or friends want something, or church wants something, if it's not in line with our budget, it is a no, 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 no. So the two of us, we had that strong voice, the unity. We were united in the way we were thinking, the way we're doing things, and we made sure that 90% of the decision was ours. 90%. And the way we carried ourselves, by the grace of God, our families, they didn't interfere. They didn't interfere. You know, I remember I'll call my family and I'm like, okay, so this is what we've planned. I'll tell them exactly what we are doing, and my people were like, you call and then you tell us. You just tell us. You tell us what you are doing. You don't ask for our plans or our, what do we say? Our ideas. You know, that kind of thing. You don't ask. And then I would just laugh and say, oh, but, you know, because in my mind, I know what we have planned and I have to stick by it. So I'm not going to go and then do something else with my family when my husband and I are planning that this is what we want to do. Okay, so that unity, by the grace of God, it was there, and we did not give any priority to anybody. So even at the wedding, everybody is important, but we didn't make anybody feel they are too special. You know, sometimes you go to a wedding, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with it, but we just didn't want that. You go to a wedding, you see high table, they put high table, and then they call the people out on the high table. Sometimes what that can do is, if maybe there's somebody in the family who feels they've so much helped you, they feel they should have been part of the high table. If you don't put them on the high table, then there is an issue. So we created a neutral ground. We made sure that, you know, we had our families and the pastors in the front row, and then everybody else were at the followed. Yeah, everybody else followed, but we didn't do any high table for anybody to feel I'm left out or that kind of thing. No, we were the most important people there, and then God. Yeah. Okay, so work within your budget, and then be flexible. Make sure that you don't purchase anything that you have not agreed with the other person, because it can cause issue. Yeah, because you have your budget. If you go and see something and then you want to buy, you know, the thing is outside of what you have said, you have decided on, make sure that you call him, ask for permission, or call her, find out, is it okay if I buy this? It's beyond our budget. Yeah, and then let them advise you. Okay, there's something I didn't touch on about the cake and then the bouquet. I think I struggled to get a bouquet. So this is the bouquet. My bouquet is very big. Very nice. I don't know if you can see it properly. Yeah. So my bouquet, I was struggling to find a bouquet, and I searched and searched. Because of the way my wedding gown is, it's got a lot of these blinks there. And then my tiara, everything had that. So I was looking for a bouquet that would match. And then I couldn't find. So I just prayed. I said, Holy Spirit, lead me to the one that is for me. Within 10 minutes, I came across this, and it was the only one left. Only one. And it matches everything. It was just perfect. I don't know if you can see it properly. I've kept it. I didn't throw it. You know, normally when you go to the wedding, they will throw it to the singles. I just decided to keep it because I will be giving it to a Swalian, one of my young people who will be getting married. I will donate it as a gift. The Holy Spirit will show me who. I know there's somebody in Swal that I have to give it to, but I don't know who yet. So the Holy Spirit will show me when it's time. I will donate it. Yeah. So that's the bouquet. It was specifically for me because it was just the one left. And then I jumped, I got it. I was like, woo! Okay. Wedding cake. Initially, one of our pastor's wife in church, she does wedding cake. So we already started talking about it. She said to me, oh, when you are coming to your wedding, let me know so that, and she gave me the price, everything. But then a family friend of my husband, is a very good family friend, called later on, and she said, oh, your wedding, we should be paying for your wedding, but because of, a few things, we just want to take care of your cake. And we're like, oh, and then she had somebody who makes cake, so she decided to contact the person. We just gave it to her. So I had to call the lady and say, I'm very sorry, somebody has offered to give us a cake for free. So they came with the cake. My cake, I wanted only 3 tiers, but very small, flat ones. When the cake came, it was like a mountain. I was like, hey, this lady, she did it. It was nice. The cake was nice, but big. But when you're already there, you can't do anything. I was sitting there, so wow. So we brought the cake home. We've been eating the cake. I'll tell you about it next 2 weeks. We ate and my cheeks are all. Yeah, nah, don't worry about my bouquet. She said it's my bouquet. I can't wait. You better pray well. It's amazing. Yeah, so we had some things for free. And then you have to understand that in as much as you are busy planning your wedding, you want the day to go perfectly nice. The devil is also planning to ensure that your wedding does not happen, or even if it happens, to make sure it's a bad day for you. Okay? So he's planning to spoil it. So don't spend all the time planning. As part of the planning, be praying as well. Be praying as well. My husband and I, we prayed so much during the wedding planning. Most of my lunch break at work was for prayers. I would just find out, are you available for us to pray? I'll go to the park, then I'll call, we'll pray over the phone. At the park, we'll pray over the phone. And the prayers really went a long way to help us, because there were some people that physically, they were showing so much support. They were showing that they were happy for us. But from the revelations we were receiving, they were actually not that happy for us. And we only could see, we only could know through prayers. Okay, some of the encounters we had, yeah, amazing stuff. And these are people that you would never, some of them we expected, but then, physically, the way we're behaving, you would never think that something like that is going on. Yeah, and then one of the things we did was we went to the venue to pray. And this was one of the toughest things that we did. It was very tiring for me, because I had to travel from where I was to come to his area. The venue is very close to where he lives. So it was tiring for me. After work, I had to travel and come. And we did it for almost 6 weeks. It was a divine direction that was given to him that we have to go to the venue and pray. So every Saturday, we had to go. And it was winter, so you can imagine it was cold. We walk around the whole hotel and pray. We anointed the place every time we went to pray. We had this anointing oil. We anointed the place, speak in tongues, make declarations. And at the point, I was saying to him that I hope the hotel people will not start noticing us, because they've got CCTVs there. And it's like we were coming at specific times. So we're thinking maybe one day they will say, these people, what are they doing? And they will start investigating us. So we were praying. And then I had a dream that he was involved in an accident. And in the dream, I just saw him limping. He was limping. And then I said, what happened? He said he was involved in an accident. And I said, where is the car? He said, the car is gone. So in the dream, that was what I saw. And so there was a particular day we went to the venue to pray. And I felt strongly for us to anoint the car. So we anointed the car inside out, the tires, everything. We prayed and canceled accident. I tell you, it wasn't up to 3 weeks. I was at work. I just finished work, got to the bus stop, and I had a call. And I picked the phone. He said, I've just had an accident. I said, what? And, I was so panicking that I said, I'm coming there right now. And he was like, you coming where? Do you know where I am? and then it dawned on me, he was on the motorway somewhere. And the way the accident happened, it was just a miracle. The car was written off. The car was so damaged to the extent that it was written off. And the people that came to rescue, the rescue team, said that they don't even know how we managed to come out. And the car, the way the car has squeezed in, it could have burst. It could have bursted and then probably set on fire. So literally, they wanted to kill him. But God had already showed it to us in advance. And we prayed and cancelled it. So prayer is very, very important. You've got to pray. Part of the preparation is prayer. And in fact, maybe 60% should be prayer. 60% should be prayer. Because you don't know who is out there to spoil your day, who is out there to kill your man, to kill your woman. We hear of people who, before the wedding, they will just die like that. People, their wedding gown will disappear like that. So don't think that everybody is smiling around you and saying, oh, congratulations, so we are happy for you. Don't think they are indeed happy for you. No, there are some of them, in fact, they wish this would never happen for you. Okay, so pray, and God will show you. Yeah, we have to cough for money. So I was thinking, I said, wow, if we did not plan this wedding properly, £5,000, we had to look for £5,000 to get a car. Because the car, and the funny thing is that we had just spent money to do MOT on the car. And then the accident happened a few weeks. So if maybe, we don't even know what would have happened without that MOT. If the car was in a bad state. So we had to look for money, just pick money, say, you know what, this is not part of the plan, but we've got to do it. And then we had to do it. And it was hard, And on the wedding day, I had a dream as well that whilst I was walking into the aisle, I saw there was a snake that wanted to bite me. So I lifted my leg and I said, Jesus. So when I woke up, I shared a dream with him and we decided we're going to anoint all the shoes. So the bridesmaid's shoes, the groomsmen's shoes, his shoe, my shoes. We anointed it, we made declarations that as we walk down the aisle, whichever snake you are, we crush your head. So you've got to pray. Don't just be so happy and forget that the devil is planning for you. Yeah, the devil is planning for you. He had a word that came and it's like somebody had planned that we will see. The person said, peace and Eden, they will see, we will show them. So they wanted to show us, but we showed them that there is power in God. So pray. And one of the things we did in terms of prayer was we made our bridesmaids and our groomsmen a prayer tower. So he was praying with them every Friday for more than probably maybe 6 weeks, every Friday before the wedding. I was praying with the bridesmaids every Monday. So we had a conference call on WhatsApp. Sometimes it's a proper conference call, not on WhatsApp, normal conference call. And then we prayed. So we had topics and I made the bridesmaid I led some of the weeks I made the bridesmaids to lead. Okay, and all our bridesmaids are married, all the groomsmen were married. My maid of honor is married for 11 years. So, like I said before, most of our people got married before us. We were literally one of the last in our church to get married in our age group. So we waited for a while, and we made sure that the bridesmaids are praying, groomsmen are praying, we are praying, and we are praying with them. Okay. And then one of the things I also say is that make sure that you are in charge, especially when it comes to the bridesmaids. The men are not like that. It's just most of the time the bridesmaids, they want to do their own thing. It's your wedding, but they want to look a certain way that maybe you don't want. Okay. I had one of that challenge. One of my bridesmaids was trying to be very difficult. And I said, you know what? This is my wedding. I'm the only person who has a final say in this. So, if I say we are going for this, we are going for that. If you don't have the final say. So be mindful. You will have people who probably want to have some kind of hairstyle. They want to even look nicer than you on the day, but it is not their day. It is your day. Okay, so if the person wants to do plait and you want the person to be in weave, stick to that. And if they are proving stubborn, take them off. I remember when I went to Ghana to help with my sisters and to be the bridesmaids for my sister. I went to a very nice, hair, but she didn't like it. I had to change the hair for her. It's her day. Yeah. So if you're a bridesmaid and you are giving the bride tough time, it is not your day. It is not your wedding. On your wedding, you can do what you like, but this is her wedding. Allow her to have the final say. She should be the most happiest, and it's a sacrifice you are doing. It's a one-day sacrifice. So if that one day you don't look nice, the bride is looking nice and happy, it's fine. Allow her. Don't try to push. I want to do this. This is what I want. No. Okay. So the bride, don't be crying and saying they don't want to do what I want. Strike them off. If it's only one bridesmaid you need that will listen to you, go with that person and be at peace. Nobody should put you in under pressure, and make you feel like you don't have a voice. No, put your feet down. And my lady, and I thank God, all of them were my friends. So they were people that I can speak to, and especially that particular girl, which is my girl. So I could beat her even if I want, but I know she will beat me back. So we had that kind of friendship whereby I can tell her off and that kind of thing. So get bridesmaids that are really your friends. Sometimes you see bridesmaids and the person is very tall, and the bride, you are like that. And because you want to go for people that really will. Anyway, if the person is your best friend, the bottom line is make sure they are friends that you can speak to, you can correct, friends who will not walk over you and do what they want, and then you are there, you are not happy. No, put your feet down. So that's what I would say with that. Okay, so as I said before, big weddings are people's standard that they set, and unfortunately everyone is trying to copy. So you too, you can set your standard. We set a standard that I have not seen since I've been to the UK. I've been to a lot of weddings. I've not seen any of that. Okay, a wedding and reception, everything together for 4 to 5 hours. I've never seen it before. I've been to cocktail weddings, but ours was different and it was nice. I have a lady in our church right now who every Sunday she will have something to say about wedding. We are 6 months in the marriage already, and she said your wedding was pure. She said God was there. You could feel the presence of God. You could feel this is right. It was pure. And it's true. I was so happy. I enjoyed the wedding to the extent that I did not even realize that it was time. I really, really enjoyed it. And one of the things people will say too is, how did they go so quick? It didn't go so quick for me. I was so much into it. The songs it was speaking about our hearts. It was appreciation songs. We were both happy. We danced. Some of you saw the videos when I posted on the WhatsApp group. My husband danced some crazy dance that I've never seen before. I know he's a good dancer. Wedding day was not that level, and I was thinking, how am I going to beat him? But I knew I can't beat him because he can dance and even somersault and dance with his head if he wants. He's a rough dancer, and it was nice. It was very, very nice to see that we were both very happy. All the faces, everybody was happy, and because we invited people that we wanted to be there, okay, not because of necessity. We had people in our church. We have like a lot of pastors, more than 10 pastors, I think. But we didn't invite all of them. We didn't. And it was hard, but we thought, we've got to do what we want to do. We didn't invite all of them. Yeah. And one of the things I realized is that when you are very united and you are private and you are doing things together, and we are not involving people too much, sometimes people get frustrated. They want to know what's going on. What is going on? They want to interfere, but let them be frustrated. They can make up things and say whatever they want to say, but at the end of the day, it's the two of you. You know where you want to go. You know where God is taking you, and you've got to carry yourself in such a way that friends, family will respect you no matter your age. We are both the last babies of our families. So, and they are all older, have children and all of that. So if we don't carry ourselves very well, you'll be treated like children, even though you're married. Okay, you can still think that we are children, but our behavior is not going to let you know that we are children. So you've got to carry yourself well so that you have that respect from families, from your church, from your friends, and all of that. Okay, so I hope that I've touched on everything that you probably need to know about wedding and how we plan ours. Remember that somebody's experience is not your experience. Families don't have to fight because of your wedding. We were told that, sometimes when you go and then you present the date to the family, this family will say, I don't want the date, can we move it to this date, and blah blah. We didn't have any of that because we were so positive and we declared what we wanted to see. We prayed what we wanted to see. No family member gave us a problem to say, change the date to this date, or we don't want. No, nobody. And I say this to the glory of God. I was saying to my husband that one of the blessings we had in our wedding was our families. They didn't give us any pressure. Even those we thought would, they behaved themselves. Honestly, my sisters were calling me from God. Oh, how did this person behave? How did I say? Oh, they behaved well. They had no option because God is in it. And when it is time, God makes all things possible. We knew what we were seeing spiritually and the prayers we have prayed. And God has our back and He made it work. He made it beautiful. So set your standard. Don't spend too much money. If you are you've been engaged for how many years and you're waiting for a church wedding, and because of that you can't do your wedding, please do something small. Just you, your family, your pastors. Okay, you can just get your wedding dress. Do something small. You go and take pictures. If you want to show your pictures on Facebook, go and take the pictures at the park. You don't have to make a big wedding. People don't have to be there. A lot of people don't have to be there. Make it simple and nice, and you will lose some friends, especially if you're doing invitation only. I have lost people. I sent invitation only. I sent a message to somebody and I said, oh, I'm very sorry, I couldn't invite you, but I just want you to know that I'm getting married, blah, blah, blah. She was upset. Oh, you didn't invite me, you are telling me. I've never heard this before. She was so upset to the extent that I tagged her on Facebook with one of my videos, and she said, don't tag me again. I said, remove me from your friendship list. So I removed her, and then on WhatsApp, when I sent her the message, she was upset. I said, okay, because I sent you the message, that's why you are upset. I'm deleting the message. And I have the WhatsApp. The WhatsApp I'm using is such that I can delete the message from your phone as well. So I deleted for everybody. So I said, okay, take it as if I did not send you this message. I deleted everything. I said, go. If you are upset because I didn't invite you, go. And I lost people. There were people who wanted to do their own thing. We've made decisions. This is the number of people we are inviting from your family. And they want to come with how many number of people? And we said we can't, because we've got this number of people that we can cater for. And because of that, they are not talking to me. Fair enough. It's up to you. You come to the wedding, apart from you coming to witness and to give your support, what else? What else? So you will lose friends. And interestingly, I had friends also I didn't invite. I told them about it. I said, I'm sorry I couldn't invite you, but I just wanted to know that we are getting married. They were so happy. They sent me money. Said, peace, you denied me my dance at your wedding, but I'm still going to support you. They sent me money. So you have good people who they understand that it's not that the fact that you didn't invite them does not mean that they are not important in your life. They will still support you. Okay? And the final thing, the gift that you are going to receive from your wedding, please, those gifts, not all of it is for you to take. Okay? So people will give you all kinds of gifts and all of that. Pray into it. As part of the wedding planning, be praying any gift that somebody is planning that is not of God. Father, let it not even come to me. Let its effect be nullified even before it comes to me. Okay, God will show you some of the gifts you are not supposed to use. Okay, some of them you are not supposed to use. What we did was we didn't bring any of the gift home. Our best man, we made him take everything to his home. It was there for a while. He opened everything. All the gifts, he opened them. All the money, he paid everything to the account. So we didn't have physical money. Now, when the things came, there was a particular money that money to come through. And when immediately I touched the money, I started speaking in tongues. It's just automatic. And I knew there was something wrong. And we prayed because I was thinking, how did this money to come through? We prayed and we had revelations about it. We sowed that money back as a seed into the church. So some of the money, some people will say, I want to buy you this, I want to get this for you. We send the money, we look at it, we sense our spirit, is this what we need to take? And then some of them, God said, pray over them, sow it as a seed. And my husband is very good with those things. So I listen to him a lot when he says this is not for us to use. I said, cool, it's fine. So we prayed into it, we made declarations, we cancelled what needs to be cancelled, we declared what we want on the money, we sowed it as a seed. So some of them, it's not for you because some of them are just a trap. Some of them are a trap, they're a trap. And I remember there was a particular gift that came in. It was something we needed. So when it came, I was like, King, we don't have to buy this again. We've got it. And I picked it. And he looked at me quietly. And I thought, what is he going to say? And he was like, it's going to charity. And I was like, okay. So most of our gift went to charity. I can literally count how many gifts we're using. Okay, so be careful. Not all of it is for you. Not all of it is coming from a good heart. Okay, so pray over them, and then the ones that needs to go to charity, let it go to charity. The ones that you need to use them. Okay, so that's all that I was saying. I'm going to play the song that I'll walk down the aisle with. It says, I'll just say yes. My laptop has gone off, so I'll just say yes. Okay, I'm going to play it. Listen to the words of the song. It's exactly how I felt on the wedding day. Just saying, God, this is a journey of no return. I don't know what is going to happen, but I'm trusting you with my yes, and I know that you lead me on. Okay, so enjoy it, and I hope it's been a blessing. In 2 weeks' time, I'll be talking about the honeymoon. Oh, the sex. That's what you guys want to hear. I know. The singles, your ears sweet to you. So, honeymoon is not all about sex. Okay, so I would talk to you the first night, the consummation of the marriage, my fears, my expectations. He didn't have any fears. But then, how we spent the honeymoon, the things we did. And then maybe in 2 weeks' time after that, I'll talk about life together as a husband and a wife, when we came back from the honeymoon, some of the adjustments we had to make, the things I started discovering, the things he started discovering, and how we've worked around it. Yeah. So marriage is beautiful. It's beautiful. I'm happy and I thank God for the decision that I made. And I know that God is bringing the best out of us every day. Okay. So enjoy the song. You lead the way. I'm not afraid to say. This life you gave me is not my own. I'm trusting you to hear my yes and lead me on. Yes, Lord. Yes, Lord. My life is yours. Yes, Lord. Yes, Lord. My life is yours. There is peace when I say yes. I might not see it now, but you say the best for all who trust you and obey. There is an answer. No more delay. I'll just say yes, yes, Lord, yes, Lord, yes, Lord. My life is yours. So if you are at the place whereby you are about to make the decision to say yes, I pray for the peace of God to guide you and for you to totally trust God and say yes to His will, and knowing that there is peace when you say yes. You might not see it now, but God always saves the best for those who wait, for those who trust Him and obey. So if you're also waiting for God, you're waiting on the time for your marriage, keep waiting, keep trusting, because God is going to bring the answer and there will be no more delay in the name of Jesus. God bless you. Have a wonderful week. Amen. I might not see it now, but you say the best for who trust you and obey. There is an answer, no more delay. I'll just say yes, yes, Lord, yes, Lord. My life is yours. Yes, Lord. Yes, Lord. Please remember to share this broadcast with your friends. Please, please, please. Let's bless somebody with this broadcast. God bless you. Have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful week. I love you. God loves you more. In Jesus' name. Bye. Yes, Lord. Yes, Lord. Anywhere you want me to go. Anywhere you need me to be, Jesus. My life is yours. Yes, the song is very addictive. Yes to your every way, Jesus. My life is yours. He wants to take us higher. Hey. And change us and make us over. My life. God wants to take us higher, change us and make us over. In Jesus' name. I'm struggling to leave. Trusting with yours tonight is yours. Okay, God bless you. Bye-bye.